I think I found the perfect crypto project. Am I biased? Absolutely. Do I have a back? Yes, but I want to make it much larger. Could I be totally wrong? Quite possibly. However, objectively speaking, this project has all the ingredients that I'm looking to find in a fundamentally strong project. There are total 8 of them, and let me show you what is the project and why am I so bullish on it. TreasureDAO is a project that offers infrastructure for marketplaces and for gaming in the Web3 space. This is, I think, a very smart project, and every project that has .lol in their URL, I think should be taken very seriously. And it doesn't make my point of thinking that this project can blow up very strong, but I will try to change your mind going forward. So this is a project that has an NFT marketplace where you can buy and sell NFTs with their token called Magic, but also they provide the infrastructure for people that want to build games, and they create some kind of an ecosystem or like a metaverse where you can jump between different games with the same token and have less obstacles if at some point you are sick of playing this or that game. I think this is a very smart way to approach the entire gaming sector of crypto, because games come and go. However, the builders behind them are probably the projects that are going to be most successful in the long term, and TreasureDAO is exactly this kind of project. One of the first things that really stands out and I really like is that they currently have around 26 games on their platform, and this one, it's called Smallverse. It's a very OG project for the platform. It's probably the most popular out there, and I heard about this project in the beginning of the first boom of NFTs, and since then what I've seen is a lot of development within this project, but also within the entire ecosystem. And as you can see, they're adding new games constantly, and if you're a gamer and if you like these kind of things, maybe at some point you get sick of one of the games and it's really a pain in the ass to move into an entirely new ecosystem with new tokens and so on and so on. And Magic and TreasureDAO avoid this by having different games and adding more games to their platform, which is definitely a unique competitive edge that they have. Another big advantage that they have, and actually the first ingredient for a very good move in a bull run, is that they moved away from Ethereum layer 1 into Arbitrum's layer 2. There are a couple of big advantages in my opinion. First, the transactions are very low cost, and also they're executed very fast on Arbitrum. And second, Arbitrum is pretty much the biggest layer 2 at this moment, and I think it will generate a lot of hype in the coming bull market. And their marketplace Troverse is actually 97% of the volume of NFTs on Arbitrum. So they're the market leader, and that's very important, because if you want to invest right now in NFTs on Arbitrum, you have to go to them, and that's it. So they have not only the first mover advantage, but they pretty much have a monopoly, which is again another very important ingredient, that they don't have that much competition on Arbitrum. The next ingredient is that these guys have been delivering and updating like crazy. I remember first time when I was looking at their marketplace, and more specifically at this collection, Small Brains. It wasn't looking like this. This really looks like a modern marketplace. The websites have been updated all across the board, and this really represents something like OpenSea here, you know, the interface of OpenSea, and you can recognize this. And if you want to move into this ecosystem, I think it will be very easy for NFT traders and players. Whenever I see this kind of project that in the depths of a bear market, they're making their product better and better, I'm getting really super bullish on it. And this is confirmed also by the numbers on their marketplace. If you can see here, the volumes on Small Brains, which is the major collection, is around, for the day, $64,000. And if we go to the 7-day graph, this is around $170,000 in volume. Although this is like 90% down from the volumes in the bull market, I think they are pulling some significant numbers. And the best part on this marketplace is that all the transactions are in Magic, so the token has real utility. Everybody that wants to participate in this ecosystem needs to use this token, and I think that is probably the most powerful utility a token can have, and another super important ingredient of a good project. Not only this, but something very impressive is their tokenomics. First of all, here you can see that the team owns only about 10% of the supply, and not like some other tokens that we already looked into in other videos, like 40 or 60% of the total supply. So this is a very well balanced distribution of the token. But the most important part is here in the little text, they have similar to Bitcoin halving, which is happening every single year, not like in 4 years like the Bitcoin halving cycle. And this means that every single year the inflation is decreasing to the maximum fixed supply. It's very rarely that you see a good project with application of their token and with good tokenomics to back it up. And all of this is in the NFT space. Usually NFT tokens don't have great tokenomics, but this one has. And the ingredient, which I think is also a very important ingredient for a bull run, that we are into the NFT ecosystem, this is definitely becoming like a perfect storm for this project, because I am super bullish on NFTs and I believe that they will make a huge comeback in the coming bull cycle. I know this is already a lot of bullishness, but I have two more things that I want to show you. And the first one is the number of people and transactions completed on their marketplace, on the entire ecosystem pretty much. On this dashboard, you can see the volumes that they're pulling, and obviously we're, as I said, far away from the numbers and the volumes from the last NFT bull cycle. However, we're starting to see an uptick in the volumes here in the past several months, but most importantly, we're starting to see an uptick in the daily active users. And this is, I think, the key here. It's super important to have a growing number of users which are adopting the ecosystem, and the volumes will come in the future, that's for sure, but having a backbone of people that like this ecosystem and their token is super important. And as you can see here, we're starting to grow, and it seems like we're getting even above the levels of the previous hype cycle here in 2022. I need to point out something here, that the volumes don't exactly match on all the platforms. And if you see here on the monthly active users graph, it seems like there are a lot of active users here compared to these levels. But on the weekly graph, it doesn't seem like this. So there's always some discrepancies between the numbers. Keep this into consideration. However, in all the platforms, all the dashboards that I've seen, there's an uptick. And let me just quickly compare this with another website that I use for this, DAO Radar it's called. And as you can see here, we have pretty much similar pattern. However, if we compare this day, for example, February 21st, here it says the unique active users are almost 700, and on the other dashboard, the number for this day is close to 2000. So keep this in mind whenever we're looking at all of these dashboards. However, this number I think is the most important, and these are the new users on the platform. And as you can see back here in September, we're starting to see a massive growth and adoption in new users on the Magic platform. So this is extremely important, and I think we will also bring a lot of volume and a lot of hype around this project. The numbers are also backed by the visitors on their website. They do also offer this kind of graph, and this is for the last 7 days. And even for the last 7 days, you can see here that we have plus 14,000 more visitors, which for the total number is around 14% growth. And the bounce rate is relatively small compared to what I've seen on other websites. And if we go on the last 30 days, you'll see that the growth is even more significant here, almost 50% growth compared to the last month. And if we look at the all-time graph, you'll be able to see that this matches what we already saw on the previous graphs. We're almost at all-time high in views on the website, which is again another reason to be super bullish. But the last one that makes me very bullish, and it's just one unique feature, and I always look for this ingredient also whenever I'm researching in a project, is if they have any innovations and if they have some kind of unique competitive advantages. And this project totally does. They have gone down the road of using a game to mine the Magic token. And this is a very powerful game. The video will get way too long if I try to explain to you absolutely everything behind this game. But there are a lot of information in their papers, and I'm going to link all the resources in the description. but this bridge world is pretty much a way to mine the magic token with the decreasing inflation that I already mentioned, and they have gamified it, and you need resources and you need to look some magic and you go on quests with different people. It's really very interesting mechanics. Actually, while I was reading this, I was like, maybe I want to play with it, you know, maybe I want to do this and at the same time try to earn some magic. I haven't seen this before. For me, it looks great, it looks amazing, and it's just another reason for me to be super bullish. However, I don't want to be drinking too much moon juice, and that's why I want to look into a few things that I don't like about this project. Before I say this, you need to know that I personally am not a gamer, and I don't know how people accept these kind of pixelated games, but I think this is a disadvantage in general. Most of the games here have graphics from the 80s or whatever, and usually they have the goal of trying to earn some tokens or whatever and trying to make some money, like most games in the Web3 space for now. I haven't played any of them. I don't know how cool they are for playing and if they're interesting and they have some proper gameplay. From what I can see on Twitter, there are plenty of people playing them, but as you can see here, the graphics are just, you know, they're just pixels, and I'm not a huge fan of these kind of games. I don't understand them, but it seems like people are playing them, and I think this is the most important. And it doesn't matter if one or two games will fail on the ecosystem or if people don't like them, because they're like the picks and shovels, this project, and they can facilitate many different games, and they're adding new and new projects, and they're offering the platform for people to build. Another issue that I found is that although they're listed on good exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin, and some others, which is good exchange diversification in my opinion, they do have a bunch of backholders that are before this period when the token got listed. So if we compare a chart on some of the major exchanges, let's take for example Coinbase, you'll see that there's not much price history. Even the ones that I have most history on here on TradingView is OKX, and as you can see, it just goes to March or February of 2022. But I found a full chart, and this one goes back to November of 21. And as you can see here, we have plenty of people that bought this project early, and I think definitely some of them are back holding this from the previous cycle. So although in general I don't like these kind of projects, I'm willing to give this a chance because most of the listings on major exchanges happened quite recently. And the last thing that I wanted to point it out here in the things that are my concerns is that I'm obviously super bullish on this project. You can probably tell, but I think I could be very wrong about this. And even if I'm right, and even if this project has solid fundamentals, this doesn't equal growth in a bull market. And whatever I'm saying right now is just like a mental note for me not to get overly bullish and obviously not to get fundamentals on any crypto project. I could have missed a lot of things during my research, or there could be many more things happening in the background that will affect negatively this project. So please guys, even if I'm bullish, just do your own research obviously and position size accordingly. And this actually brings me to my plan and what I see as projections for this token. First of all, keep in mind that I already scaled in somewhere around here. So somewhere around $1.50 I started entering this position. As you can see, we had a beautiful accumulation, and I'm actually a little bit FOMOing in because I didn't get this on my radar until somewhere around here. And I was like, damn, I really wish I knew about this project here in the lows below $1, because that would have been a great accumulation play in my opinion. But hey, I'm not gonna complain about it because there's plenty of resistance above that we need to face somewhere here around $2. And I would love to get more of this token on every retracement in this area between $2 and $1. But even if we don't get this, I'm gonna be adding on a breakout here at this level. This will probably be one of the bigger sizes backs that I have, but I'm not gonna YOLO in all my savings into it because it's just an altcoin with small market cap. So just be aware of this. I'm okay with carrying this risk, but still this won't be more than 2 to 3% of my overall portfolio. As a price projection, definitely I think the all-time high here is not that far away, to be honest. It's just 200% from where price is currently sitting, and with a fully diluted market cap of around 650 million, I think this token has still a lot of potential. It's not one of the smallest tokens out there, but currently it's number 105 on CoinMarketCap. So definitely, I think this is worth a place at least on page 1 on CoinMarketCap. And definitely, I think it has a lot of price potential. $10, definitely. Here, I'm just speculating, obviously. But if we get into a bull run and if we break out of this all-time high, pretty much the sky is the limit. This obviously will play out together with the Arbitrum narrative and with the NFT narrative that I'm foreseeing. However, if any of these fails to materialize, obviously I don't see that much potential for this. So definitely I'm betting not only on the fundamentals, but on the narratives that I already mentioned to play out for this to be really a good investment and really to go parabolic in a potential bull run. That's everything for this video and for this review. If you have any questions, you know how to find me.